Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. My name is GBay99, and today I'm going to be bringing you another episode in my Mindset series. This game I'm going to be playing Renekton top lane going up against a Shen. In the first episode, a lot of you guys said that you liked the idea of Mindset, where I take you through a game and talk about my thought process during all the good and bad moments, but that you wanted to see a game where I struggled more and where there were more mistakes on my end than or maybe even more mistakes than good parts. I sort of steamrolled the other game, and while a lot of you said it was interesting to see how I got a lead and was able to translate that into a victory, a lot of you wanted to see more mistakes I made. So this game, you're definitely going to enjoy, those of you who are looking for a game that was a lot more of a struggle. This one was probably one of the hardest games I've ever played. But anyway, getting back into the game, as you can see, I'm being very aggressive. I'm playing Renekton. Renekton does really well early game, flashing forward there, getting the stun and the Call the Meek, but I don't get my Ignite off to finish off the kill. Now, the reason I'm pushing is to try and make sure that I have a level advantage on Shen and have more abilities than him at every point possible to see if I can use that Ignite to get an early kill. There, I get my Slice and Dice. I slice forward because I have 2 stacks of Fury up. I try to kill him. I think my Ignite may have killed him there, but he barely leveled up to get his Feint and his shield. So he does end up living, and I end up giving first blood, putting myself at a pretty significant deficit early on. I keep on being aggressive though. I always play aggressively throughout this game. I don't always play aggressively, but this game, Renekton is very strong. He's a very strong laner in the early game, and this Shen isn't doing a very good job controlling his lane. I'm almost always a level up, and I have a decent enough CS lead, about 10, 15, maybe even 20 CS lead right now, having about 27 CS, where I feel very confident about my laning, and I feel like I'm doing a very good job up against this Shen. Now, he hit level 4, I just hit level 5, and there's a big minion wave at his turret, so what I'm going to do is go past the turret and do the singed trick, where you just sort of farm the minion wave past the turret. Right now, I'm pretty sure Evelynn is in their bottom jungle, so I have a decent amount of time to just do this if she does decide to come gank me. But if you notice what Shen is doing, he taunts me there and tries to get some damage, but he's not going to be able to kill me without his Ignite unless he taunts me under the tower. But what I'm doing here is basically forcing him to not CS. If you just sort of pay attention to him, there's one CS he misses, there's another CS that he misses. He's just sort of walking back and forth, not really being really substantial top laner. He's not paying attention to the minions as much as he's paying attention to me. Right there, Evelynn was coming top lane, so I just went ahead and sliced through the wall. I'm still a little bit wary that she's top lane, and as Shen sort of taunts, I sort of figure that she is, so I go ahead and just sort of walk away, not hard engaging or anything like that, doing a pretty good job forcing their jungler to come top lane and applying some pressure even though I gave up first blood. Now, I'm actually going to stay in the top lane because Shen is about as low as I am, and because Renekton has maybe slightly better sustain than Shen does. I had a health potion there, and even though I'm being taken very low from his Qs, I'm like 1 minion away at this point from getting level 6. I could die to maybe one of his Qs or an auto attack or 2 at this point, but because I'm 1 minion away from level 6, I'm going to jump in the brush, hit level 6, and then he doesn't realize it, then immediately run forward, blow all my abilities on him. I can save my Ignite and still pick up the kill and sort of even things out top lane, maybe even getting a bit of a lead considering the fact that I'm still about 20 to 30 CS ahead of him. Despite the fact that things seem a lot more even, a lot closer at least, we're still fairly far behind in terms of the overall flow of the game. Shen gets his ultimate now. He just used it to teleport mid lane to prevent a kill that Vel'Koz was probably about to get, and I'm going to take the opportunity to go ahead and push down the tower, hopefully take the tower as long as Evelynn doesn't come top lane, and get some global gold for my team, even though it was nerfed a little bit in that one patch a while back. Now, I'm going to push down this top lane and continue pressuring. There's a few things I can do while I take down this tower, but the first thing I'm going to do is push to his second tower. By doing this, I forced Shen to do a few things. Firstly, he just used his ultimate, so he can't just push top lane, eventually take my tower, and then ult into a team fight if I decide to roam bottom lane and start one. The worst thing he could do is maybe push top lane and eventually take the tower while I go and pick up a kill for my mid laner or bottom laner. It's going to be a while though until he can safely split push without having to worry about me roaming around and picking up some kills on his teammates. Now I'm getting a little bit too aggressive here, taken down to below half health, so I'm going to go ahead, ward up their blue, make sure there wasn't anything I can steal, and go mid lane to look for a gank. Katarina's, she's definitely someone that's going to be hard to gank because she can use her E to me like she did just there. I was sort of anticipating it, and I hoped to slice forward and then force her to E to me so the E wasn't actually all that far. But right now, I'm fairly low. I have my ultimate and ignite and all my abilities, so I'm going to bait her in, use my stun, pop my ultimate, use my slice at the last second so I can use the dice to get through her and escape from Shen and Evelynn, and let Vel'Koz pick up that kill as I walk away to safety and sort of let them duke it out and eventually end up sort of disbanding from that team fight where nobody else dies. Things are going fairly well for me throughout this point in the game. I just got a couple kills for my team, one for myself and one for my mid laner, and I'm feeling very confident, so I'm going to start shoving down this mid lane, already taking down the top lane tower, and see if I can maybe even get a kill on this Shen. I throw down some harass on him, even though I should probably be taking some damage on the tower, just to see how much damage I deal to him, and I take him down to about half health with the help of the minions. Because of that, and because of the fact that I have my ignite up, I'm going to see if I can pick up a kill on him. I'm feeling very confident, and Renekton is still in his prime at this point in the game. I have my ignite, no ultimate for 20 seconds, but I'm gonna see if I can get a kill on him. He initiates onto me though with his taunt and does a really nice job, but goes a little bit too far, so I pop my ignite, pop my slice and dice, and try and finish him off, but he barely gets his shield up in time to save him from another death. At this point, I'm 1-2-1, and I'm not feeling as confident, a little bit disappointed in my two silly deaths, but I'm going to continue pushing down this mid lane turret and eventually take it with the help of Vel'Koz here. We just saw Katarina, Kog'Maw, and Evelynn in the bottom lane, and Shen is top right now facing Hecarim 1v1, so we're going to keep pushing this lane and seeing if we can deal a little bit too much or a little bit more damage to their mid lane towers when Kog'Maw shows his face. We don't have any wards though, and that's a huge mistake by me to engage this Kog'Maw without any wards, and with the fact that Soraka and Evelynn both went missing from bottom lane. Evelynn's going to go 1v1 onto this Vel'Koz, and because she has that red buff slow, she's going to be able to pick up a kill on him. A beautiful arrow from Ashe comes in there though, sort of evening out the trade, but Katarina also shows up, and with a flash, her slow, and her ultimate, she's going to be picking up a kill on me, making it a 2-for-1. It was a sort of nice trade because we did get that objective, and we're doing very well in objectives right now. We're going to take this dragon in a second, but it's still a bit of a mistake. Those were unnecessary deaths that we made, and an unnecessary lead that we gave to the opponent. Now we're going to take this dragon, even though we're down by a substantial amount, even though I'm 1-3, we're 8-12, because Shen actually used his ultimate in that last team fight, but he's staying top lane even though he has no way to get down to his team. We're gonna ult onto we're gonna just jump onto this Katarina as she tries to ult us. Vel'Koz is gonna blow his ultimate, but that was a very nice kill. The reason we knew we could pick up that kill was because we did dragon fairly easily and they didn't really do anything about it, so there's no wards there for her. We're gonna see if we can get some initiation here and start a team fight at this point in the game though. I get a nice stun onto Kog'Maw, Hecarim goes in with the ultimate, and we get a good Ashe arrow onto Soraka right there. Shen is going to ult in from top lane though, as it's back up at this point in the game, and he gets a really nice taunt onto my team. If we take a look at this exact frame, a lot of stuff is going on at this precise moment in the game. Vel'Koz is ulting Kog'Maw with his ultimate, who still has that shield from Shen's ultimate. Katarina is coming in to see if she can pick up a kill and get the reset for her ultimate and for all her abilities, and Shen just taunted 3 members of our team. Most importantly though, that Evelynn in the backline is about to engage us. She has her ultimate up, and she is going pure tank Evelynn. She has a lot of kills from a number of ganks, and she can really decimate our team if we don't pay attention and neutralize her with some sort of CC. If we roll the footage here, we can see Evelynn gets a perfect ult, Katarina gets a number of resets, 2 resets there, 4 resets, and then that's 4 kills for their team. I flash away trying to live. Katarina does use her Bilgewater on me though, and I end up going down for a triple kill on that Evelynn and an ace for their team. We have a pretty huge deficit at this point in the game, but we're going to be looking for opportunities to turn that around. Right now we're down 7 kills, but we see Shen bot lane and we take the opportunity for an initiation. We combo a bunch of ultimates together and pick up a number of kills on them, as Shen doesn't have his ultimate since he used it on the previous team fight. Evelyn does pop up here though, we don't realize she's there, and because she's so tanky while dealing a ton of damage, she picks up 1 kill onto us, she picks up another kill onto Hecarim, and then she is gonna try and get away at this point. She's taken very low, and because Soraka isn't in range to heal, I'm able to chase after her and pick up the kill with just my Sunfire and my ultimate, but I have to back out since my health gets a little bit too low and I don't have quite enough armor to take the tower and then end up killing that Soraka. Shen does eventually come back, but it's too late and we know better at this point, so we just go ahead and back off ourselves. Both teams start looking for a number of initiations, as they're still up in a number of ways. They still have a 7 kill advantage right now, and we still feel confident since we just won that last team fight. Shen's going to come in on the ult onto Evelyn. Evelyn took down that Ashe, but we are going to be able to pick up a kill onto Evelyn after blowing a lot of abilities. Now, I'm taken fairly low, so I'm going to just see if I can deal as much damage to Katarina as possible, sort of giving up on the idea that I wouldn't be able to prevent her reset, even though I probably could have ran away a little bit more. They're going to chase after our Lulu, our Hecarim, and our Vel'Koz, who are both taken incredibly low, and because they were able to take out Ashe first, most notably, they're going to be able to translate that into a really strong victory there, taking out 3 of our members while only losing 1 of theirs, and eventually take this inhibitor. At this point in the game, they're playing this fairly smart. They're losing a few team fights. They might be staying a little bit too long here, but as long as they take that inhibitor, it would be okay. Hecarim is chasing after Katarina, seeing if he can finish her off, but she deals way too much damage and there's no way he can 1v1 her. Katarina's going to finish him off. They're going to finish off the inhibitor. There's some minions placed in a very fortunate spot there that's going to allow me to pick up a kill onto Kog'Maw, but ultimately that's all we're going to be able to do at this point in the game. At this point we have to wait for them to provide some sort of initiation, provide an opportunity, which they do a few moments later. We get the Ashe arrow in, but what I do is just try and focus down this Kog'Maw, since he seems to be a bit of a frustration for our team. Evelyn has been too, as has Katarina, but that was a really nice opportunity for me to take out one of their main carries, and I make sure that I do so very quickly. Once Katarina pops up, I focus her, I ping her to try and get my whole team to focus her, but nobody does. She ends up picking up a triple kill on us, and they get another ace. Now things are really starting to look bad for us. We're 10 kills down, and they're doing a really nice job doing everything they can to make sure that they don't blow their lead. I personally have made a little bit of a comeback, going 6, 7, and 9 at this point. I don't have as negative of a score as I previously did, but things are still not looking good. They're taking our first base tower. They're doing a really nice job. We think the game's over, but they aren't going to be able to finish off the game quite yet since they don't have enough minions. But the really big thing that we need to focus on is taking down their 3 big damage dealers. Katarina, Kog'Maw, and Evelyn have all been doing a really nice job positioning themselves, and if they ever don't position themselves well, then they do a really nice job just getting Shen ulted. Shen can really protect them in a number of ways with his ultimate, with his taunt, and everything that he has. At this point, we think the game's over, so we're going to try a desperation Baron. We're 10 kills down. They've been attacking our base a number of times, and they see us doing this Baron. The Baron's at half health, but what we're going to do is go ahead and turn onto them. Shen was just in the top lane. We don't see him quite yet, but he does end up going there. We take down Kog'Maw fairly early as Evelyn shows up. A nice Lulu ult onto me sort of keeps me alive and scares Evelyn away, as Soraka steps a little bit too far forward, and I jump onto her and Katarina. Vel'Koz gets a really nice ultimate that helps me pick up a double kill, and then with a bunch of CC, we're going to be able to finish off this Shen. I pick up a triple kill, and then we go back to Baron eventually, since we don't have any minions to push down the mid lane. At first we think maybe we can take an inhibitor, but we don't have the minions. We don't necessarily have the tankiness outside of me, and as you can see, Hecarim's fairly low, so we go back and decide to do Baron. After Baron, we have a little bit of a skirmish in the mid lane that forces me to pop my ultimate, and I believe a number of other players to pop their ultimates, but we're gonna see if we can initiate and do anything with this Baron, since we're still fairly far behind even if we do have that Baron buff. Another time, though, we see a positioning error as Katarina's in the bottom lane. Vel'Koz immediately takes the opportunity, gets some CC onto Soraka. We almost finish off Kog'Maw, but at the very least force him out of the team fight. And then eventually start turning onto Evelynn and Shen, who showed up. Now, I'm going to see if I can take out this Shen, since I'm fairly low and I don't want to force anything else. Hecarim finishes him off, and finishes off Kog'Maw as I sort of suicide to see if I can make sure that we take Evelynn, and we do end up finishing her off. Katarina is going to jump in, pick up 1 kill, and then barely finish off Hecarim there with her Ignite, but we still have 2 people alive, although they can't take any more map objectives. This has been a really back and forth game, and we're a little bit nervous at this point because we just lost our Baron buff in a slight victory, but what was essentially an even fight. Still, though, we look for more initiation because we have to do that since we have all this strong initiation, and end up forcing Kog'Maw out of the team fight, taking Soraka down incredibly low, forcing her to flash away and heal herself, and then switch on to Katarina and Kog'Maw. There's been a lot going on in a lot of these team fights, but the thing that I've been focusing on more than anything is forcing Kog'Maw or Katarina or even Evelynn out of these team fights and taking them as low as I possibly can. We end up killing Kog'Maw, I end up picking up the kill for it, and with the help of that Lulu ultimate, we're going to finish off Katarina. A double kill for me, as the rest of my team ended up finishing off most of their players. Shen is going to finish off Hecarim there, as he was very low from the Kog'Maw passive, but we have enough players up now that we can keep pushing this lane, even though our Vel'Koz and Lulu were a little bit too hesitant there. I sort of realized if Evelynn does show up, then we have enough to finish her off. She does show up, we have enough to finish her off, and we're going to see if we can go ahead and take this inhibitor. We're approaching the 50-minute mark, 45-minute, 50-minute mark at this point in the game, and even if I sort of edited this poorly, I didn't necessarily want to upload the full game to YouTube, since I think it ends up being 50-55 minutes total. I didn't necessarily want to upload all that to YouTube, but this was a really hard game for both teams, really. It went back and forth through a lot of the game. Right now, we do have a pretty strong advantage, though. We're going to go ahead and take this Baron. They can't do necessarily too much. We use our initiation to end up taking Katarina incredibly low, incredibly quickly, just sort of showing how far we've come. As I and Hecarim continue taking out the Baron, we finish off Baron with a smite, and then we're going to go look to end the game. We have an open inhibitor in the mid lane and in the bottom lane at this point, and it's this game is just sort of it's just been a roller coaster of emotions at this point. We thought we were going to lose multiple times throughout the game, and we thought we were going to maybe do better than we did at other points, but nobody in the game really expected this win coming out, so I'm really proud and sort of excited that we were able to end up winning this. I apologize for those of you who didn't necessarily those of you who didn't see as many mistakes as you may have liked to. Maybe next time I'll upload a loss or a game where I just constantly feed, if that's what you're interested in, for talking about my mindset on why I made the decisions that I did for what ended up costing us the game. But I was very I think that was a really nice game by both teams, and I think I had a pretty good understanding of, both teams had a very good understanding of what each had to do to win the game, and I think both teams deserve a little bit of a congratulations for playing such a good game. I hope you all enjoyed the game, I hope you all enjoy the series, and I hope that this wasn't too boring for you. I had a lot of fun with this game, and I hope you had some fun watching it. Until next time, though, thank you very much for watching, good luck in solo queue, and have a wonderful day.